United States General Accounting Office, Washington, D.C. 20548, Program Evaluation Methodology Division, September 6, 1994, B258167. The Honorable William D. Ford, Chairman, Committee of the Post-Secondary Education and Training Committees of the Education and Labor House of Representatives. Dear Mr. Chairman, this letter is a response to the request to examine the roles of the training federal programs in helping the youth to gain employment in selected high-wage occupations. They do not require a four-year college degree. This interview, federal agency officials and industrial representatives found little hard data on the process, but did obtain their views on the issues. While unable to provide you with conclusive answers to your questions, this letter provides information potential barriers for training and employment that may be helpful in the future for deliberations about how the federal program can help youth obtaining employment occupations similar to those that we study. The letter summarizes a recent briefing we provide to your staff. We do not plan further work in the area unless requested to do so. Background. While in the vast majority of the youth, about 87% completed the high school. While in the vast majority of the youth, about 87% complete high school, only 24% complete a four-year college degree by the age of 34. Yet a high school's education has become the effective that then it be used in protecting young family heads against poverty. There has been a discussion of the needs for more better training for the middle half or the youth who complete the high school but not a four-year of these colleges. One argument is that there has been a decline of well-paying U.S. jobs that require few or no special skills. Currently, a variety of federal training education programs serve as the youth, however, does not clear how the federal program sub-baccalaureate training that leads to the employment in well-paying jobs in September 21st, 1993. See General Accounting Officer, Poverty Trends in 1980 through 1988, Changes in Family Composition, Income Services Among the Poor. Letter that specifically asked to address the three questions selected occupations of this sort. What are the different paths which the youth train and prepare for a given occupation? What are the roles the federal program plays in the training and employment in these applications? What are the prior opportunities for the training leading to the employment in the given occupation? Because the limited national data of the individual's current occupation type of the training and federal support he or she may have received, an expected diversity of the issue across occupations which use this case, the study approaching focusing on six occupations: machinists, drafters, electronic technicians, registered nurses, radiological technologists, and paralegals. In selecting these occupations, we established as a critical common to all they are offered and projected growth in high income, typically requiring training beyond high school but less than 4 years of college. However, we wanted some diversity in the six occupations, and we selected to provide the gender balance to include the least of one occupation that uses the apprenticeship. In order to answer the study of the questions, we interviewed officials of the Department of Education, Health, Human Services, Labor, and interviewed representatives of 19 associations, primarily representing employees and employers involved in six occupations. See Appendix 1 for the reviewed Bureau of Labor Statistics. Department of Education data is also conducted literature review of the pertinent studies and articles. However, we did not obtain comments of the Department of Education, Health and Human Services, or Labor on a draft of this letter. The training pass and the discussion of representatives of the national organization at the reviews of the BLS, your Bureau of Labor Statistics data, we discovered that the multiple training paths for each of the six occupations prospective workers have some flexible in preparing a career. However, the most of these occupations require a 2-year education beyond a high school diploma, community college training, insufficient paths in each of these occupations, except for the machinists, which undertake the less extent of a 4-year college program, is also the path for the most of the occupations. The major training of the other selected occupations are shown in Table 1. While the table provides a structure describing the training paths, it's important to understand these paths are not neatly separate from one another as the table might suggest. Here is a table with the training paths of your bachelor's, community college, other post-secondary, and provided formal, informal training. Your machinist is associate's degree of 2 years or toward courses toward apprenticeship tech program. 2x2 program may be involved in apprenticeship of 4 to 5 years if the employer provided formal, informal training. The drafter is a bachelor's degree of 4 years and an associate's degree of 2 years. Technical institution 18 months and degree in primary paths. And formal on-the-job training after high school. Electronic technician bachelor's degree and 4-year program. Associate's degree degree in 2 years, technical institute primary pass, registered nurse, a bachelor's degree in 4 years, associate's degree in 2 years, primary pass, hospital-based diploma program declining on at least 2 to 3 years, and radiological technician of the bachelor's degree of 4 years, associate's degree of 2 years, primary path, or a hospital-based certificate program of other post-secondary. Bachelor's degree maybe is in paralegal studies and liberal arts. It's a bachelor program. And community college is associate's degree of 2 years, and its other post-secondary preparatory school of 60 hours is American Bar Associated approved. And however, they provided formal, informal training on the job training for the secretary of an individual with a baccalaureate degree in liberal arts. Formal skill certification and licensure is required only for the nurses, all states of the radiological technician in the 26 states. And as possible consequences, these occupations seem to have the most well-defined training paths. However, the same effort is almost as the occupations to ensure minimum skill standards of the 5-6 occupations, all except for the machinist, various organization accredited training programs, making work of the strength and standardization school curricula. Furthermore, these 3 occupations, machinist, drafter, and paralegals, have adopted the voluntary certification concerned with the minimum skill standards, which should be authenticated. To demonstrate the flexible ability of preparing these occupations, we discussed the true contrasting examples. Registered nurse, machinist, training path for the nurses are clearly defined in the pattern available for the past and similar to the most of the other occupations. Training for the machinist, however, they seem to be at least well defined and the most different from the other occupations, but perhaps similar to the other traded occupations. A registered nurse, when determined that there are 3 major paths to becoming a registered nurse. Community college is 2 years of course of studies, requires a completion of 60 to 70 credited hours of study, including clinical practicum, obtaining an associate's degree of nursing according to the data of the National League of the Nursing. This is the most prevalent path of registered nursing, representing 65% of the annual graduates. A bachelor's degree of the 4-year program requiring 120 to 130 credit hours. Clinical practicum, according to the Nurses Association representative, the course provides in-depth of study, independent study, additional research, or more emphasis on the community health of the 2-year program. The diploma program, the hospital-based program that varies in the length of most programs, consistent with the 2 years training conduct of the staff in the hospitals that are tended toward taking the college associate. Some colleges' class of the credit may be easily applied toward the college. Regardless of the path of study chosen, some of the licensing examination is further. We are told that the graduates of all 3 paths seem to be hired about the same rate, but the 4 years degrees are most likely to be advanced. The machinist and training path for the machinists are not easily as well described for the nurses, and machinist training varies from the formally apprenticeship programs and informal on-the-job training, community college, technical institutes, and increasing other offers for classroom training in connection with the company of the association of the training programs. We categorize machinists into 3 paths, modifying significant variations within each. Community college provides a machine shop training with the 2 courses of study, associate's degree in manufacturing technology and metal cutting technologies, classroom training in the formal apprenticeship program, technical preparations, apprenticeship programs, and starting junior year of high school and last of 2 years community college of technical institutes training. Apprenticeship, the typical formal apprenticeship requires 8,000 to 10,000 hours of training and work over the 4 or 5 years. About 60% of the formal informal apprenticeship programs involving attending some classroom the training of the community college. Additional informal apprenticeship program on the job training. High school graduate may can directly to work, often to as a helper or floor sweeper before the company begins. The machinist training, in some cases, the high school graduate may be held as some pre-apprenticeship training. However, we are told the approach of the apprenticeship is general and decline the role of federal programs in the GAO. In the government accounting and office identified a very large number of the federal programs in support of education and training. For the study, we identified the largest ones that from their purpose of the characteristics was expected for the important role of the supporting training for the 6 occupation of the program, the Pell Grants, the Federal Family Education Loan Program, the FFELP, the Vocational Education Basic Grants, the states, and the Job Training Apprenticeship Act, JTPA. Job opportunities, basic skill training, the jobs program. We found these major federal programs do not collect statistics supporting the training in specific occupations. However, given the nature of the training for most of the 6 occupations, community college, 4 years student financial aid, like Pell Grants, FFELP, probably plays the largest role in training for from them. Pell Grants, FFELP loans, the Title IV, the Higher Education of 1965, provides several loans of the grant programs that help post-secondary students meet the financial needs. The largest of the Pell Grant and the FFELP, the Family Education Loan Program. Formally guaranteed students loan program includes Stafford loans, parent loans, undergraduate students, supplemental loans to the students because of the large role played by the formal schooling in the sixth occupation of the Pell Grants of the FFELP may be widely used to support programs to support the training of the types of occupations we examined, with the exception of the machinists, such as loans and grants supporting eligible standards of the accredited program and the variety of the institution, regardless of whatever the course of study is chosen. While data support is specifically course of student study are not available for widely distributed across the types of the institution involved with the training pass is identified establishing estimates in the National Post-Secondary Student Aids indicated with the form of 1989 and 1990 academic year. Approximately 58% of the Title IV grants and loans were students at four-year public or private colleges, 16% of the 2 years or less of the public, private, and 26 proprietary schools, which program generally shorter than 1 year. See the footnote number 2, the U.S. General Accounting of the multiple employment training programs, overlapping the programs, unnecessary administrative costs, other type of 4 programs, the supplemental education opportunity grants, college work study, the Perkins loan. The Vocational Education Basic Grants of States, the Title II, is the Carl D. Perkins Vocational Aptitude Technology Education Act, authorized basic grants to some states. The vocational education when unable to determine how large the role of the program, increasing access to shaping the characteristics of the training of the six occupations. However, the 37% of the official year of the 1995 Perkins of the Title II. Part C, the vocational education proposed by the funding of the post-secondary institutions nationwide in service states of as little as 15%. The remainder goes to the secondary schools. Furthermore, the federal money estimated to represent every $1 for every $10 spent of the vocational education. This may still limit the federal government influence of the such activities. The Job Training Partnership Act, the GTPA, the principal federal program of the job training related to the services enacted to provide the training of the employment seeking the skills economically disadvantaged, involves individuals who train under other market services to obtain employment. We believe that unlike the Joint Training Job Training Partnership Act is heavily involved in supporting the training in six occupations we study because of the length of the post-secondary school, typically of the training pass, and the presence of the Job Training Partnership Act program. Clients who are not in high school graduates intended for the bachelor BLS surveys shall show that 86% of the machinists over the 98% of the 5 other occupations of the 12 more of the year's schooling. Another factor limiting the Job Training Partnership Act involvement in these occupations is the additional occupational training. The Job Training Partnership Act supports activities such as job search, remedial education, former GAU report. We found that 25% of the GTPA occupational training was represented 66% of the total train. We are geared toward the higher school occupations such as machinists and drafters, job opportunities and basic training programs. The jobs program is job opportunities, basic skills and training program is a federal state effort to help to provide the aid of the families and dependent children program, the obtaining of jobs, avoiding the long-term welfare and dependence through the education training work of experience and service. The agency officially told that there is no federal limit to the length of training of the state of the jobs program may support. However, the enrollment of the post-secondary degree programs identified the frequent, the most recent. We found the official year of 1992, 10% of the jobs, education, and training of the expenditures were formally education of the post-secondary level, while almost 25% of the secondary and remedial education. This part of it may because of the job clients' lack of the qualifications, and for these degree programs requiring general education diploma and preparation of the remedial action and remedial education instead. And further, like of the job training place GTPA, which is Job Training Partnership Act, and jobs funds that are activities of their training in the job search apprenticeship program. The Department of Labor Bureau, the apprenticeship training registers apprenticeship program organized in the state agency registered does not provide the directly apprenticeship program to provide the technical assistance for the existing sponsors entitled to that would look like establishing sponsors. In the official year of 1994, $17 million was appropriated to administrate the program. Apprenticeship are declined. However, we are registered the apprenticeship exists for the 800 occupations for the 2/3 week of the 220 applications, mainly construction for the metal trades. There were about 6,000 machinist apprenticeships scholarships in the 1990s. Other programs, we identified some of the potential applicable programs the Department of Health and Human Services is expected to have: a small rural sub-baccalaureate path and post-secondary pass. How we found that the baccalaureate health provisions nursing program provides the assistance of 4-year programs. Their funding, allied to the health provision, is smaller supports of the program and several other specialties, as well as radiological technician. In the summary, student aid programs, the Pell Grants, and the Federal Family Education Loan Protectment, the FELP, are likely to represent the most federal assistance supporting training of this group. The high-paying, high-growth applications, however, because of the way the federal programs were examined and structured, because of the support, in addition with a particular subgroup of the use of the focus on, we could not determine much of the federal support specifically goes to sub-baccalaureate training for the youth. Potential barriers for the training leading to the employment as a result of literature search, we developed a fairly extensive list of potential barriers expected would be mentioned in our interviews. We discussed the issues of barriers in general terms during the interviews with the federal officials. See accounting jobs, the GTPA, tracking spending outcomes program performance, and in the government accounting office, see welfare works, the state services least job ready for while maintaining job participation rates. The representative for the national organization, however, when we compared with the barriers mentioned with those in the original list, we found that the little overlap. When they found the barriers, we identified literature of what were not mentioned for the interviews, while additional only ones are identified for the discussion. However, we share highlights which we learned of some of the potential all financial barriers to training are mentioned in literature where little evidence of them in 6 occupations explored not raised for the interviews as we above. The federal student aids programs are available, accredited, and technical institutes in community college and 4-year schools. No concerns are raised in interviews for the overall quality of the training received for the accredited schools. The issue of the trouble completing with the training programs was not raised in the interviews, nor did it readily find the occupation-specific data that exists to the issue. In contrast, we are claimed by both federal private sectors officials, student areas. Students are not directly not directed towards the occupations and the training required for them because of the high school or primarily oriented 4-year college preparation. Furthermore, it is stated that the middle-class parent has negative views of the technical occupation. It suggested some high school graduates do not go on post-secondary training because they were unwilling to relocate for needed training, even to a nearby city. We told the Association of Relevance to Training for the Later Employment Difficulties, Skills, and Employer we consider the most relevant would be vary quite a bit across the employers to each of the 6 occupations. For example, machinists employed with the captive shop of the manufacturing plant that are likely to skill different for the machinist and job the independent small business and variety of the manufacturer. Some regional differences may exist while it may not be practical to accept training programs to prepare students for all purposes settings that does not imply that the broad range of employers should be involved with the setting skill standards. In occupation with a large proportion of the employees have a bachelor's degree, the question is whether the 2-year degree is really competitive with the 4-year degree, but entirely entry level to the later advancement. There is a too large extent for the issue of labor support demand, which is hard to predict. Furthermore, it is not clearly that the federal road should be regarded. The current philosophy is to make consumers be better educated labor market, and so they make their own choices. If you have any questions and would like additional information, please call me 202-512-5885. Stephanie Shipman, Assistant Director of the Public Assistance of Poverty Issues, at the same number. Sincerely yours, Robert L. York, Director of the Program Evaluation and Human Services Area. And the associations interviewed were the American Association of Engineering Society, American Association Paralegal Education Bar Association, American Design Drafting Association, Electronics Association, the American Medical Association, American Nursing Association, American Registry of Radiological Technologists, American Science Society of Radiological Technologists, American Association of Manufacturing Technology, Institution of Electronic Engineers, International Association of Machinists, Aerospace Workers, International Society of Certified Electronic Technicians, National Association of Legal Assistants, National Association of Federal and Paralegal Associations, National Legal for Nursing, National Occupational Information Coordination Committee, National Tooling Machining Association, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America.